Good wishes to everyone. Today's lecture will see a brief note on 8051 timers and how to program a timer using assembly language programming. Basically, these timers can be used for two applications. One is to create delay, other is to count events. In all microcontroller-based automated applications, producing delay of varying time is of greater importance. For example, a washing machine has to rely on varying time for its assigned sequence of operation to be completed. List is an example for event counting. It is able to count the number of persons present. The 8051 architecture is provided with two timers for these applications and the four special function registers are present to facilitate the timing operations. The TMOD register, which is a timer mode register which is used to specify the timing mode. The TCON register, which is a timer control register which is used to enable and disable counting, and the two 16-bit registers which are used to hold the count value. To accept external input to the timer, the 8051 is having two pins T0 and T1. INT0 and INT1 are used to control the timer counter. As I specified earlier, the timer register is a 16-bit register. It can be accessed as two 8-bit register, lower byte and higher byte. So, for example, you take this timer 0. So, this 8 bits is termed as timer low 0, and these 8 bits are termed as timer high 0. So, we can directly send the count value to these timer registers with the help of the immediate addressing mode. Now we'll see what is this TMOD register is all about. The TMOD register is an 8-bit register. In that, the lower nibble is used for timer 0 and the higher nibble is used for timer 1. So M0 and M1 is used to specify the modes, and the CT which is used to specify whether counting or timing. Say for example, if I provide 0 here, it specifies that we are in timing operation. If I provide 1 here, we are in counting operation. Gate is used to enable and disable the counting. So when the gate is 0, the enable and disabling the counting is done by the TCON register. When gate is 1, we have another scenario, we will see that. So it is an elaborated view of this TMOD register. So M0 and M1 is used to specify the timing modes. So we have 4 modes: mode 0, mode 1, mode 2 and mode 3. Mode 0 is a 13-bit timer, mode 1 is a 16-bit timer, and mode 2 is an 8-bit auto reload, and 3 is a split timer mode. Right? As I said earlier, CT is used to specify whether counting or timing application is in progress. So gate is used to enable and disable the counting. Now we'll see what is this TCON register is all about. So same, the TCON register, we can divide that into lower nibble and higher nibble. Lower nibble is used for interrupt operation, and the higher nibble is used for the timing operation. Here we are having a two-bit specification, TR and TF. TR is nothing but timer run control. TF is nothing but timer overflow. So timer run control is used to enable and disable the counting softwarely. TF is nothing but when the counting is completed or terminated, so the overflow flag will be set. So we'll take this example, TR0. If I specify 1 here, it means that the timer 0 is switched on or it is enabled. So if it is 0 means the timer 0 is disabled. If TF0, if the status is 1, so the timer 0 is overflow. So the timer can be enabled and disabled with the help of these instructions. So set bit TR0, which is nothing but this instruction is used to enable the timer 0. Clear TR0 is used to disable the timer 0. Now we'll see the importance of gate. This is the internal diagram of the timer. So we have an oscillator, and the oscillator frequency is divided by 12, and you have a control here, and you have a control here. Right? So this control is nothing but CT. So if it is Cp equal to 0 means we are getting the input from the oscillator. If the Cp is 1, we are getting the input from the external pin 3.4 and 3.5. So this control, it has been controlled by this gate and the INTO pins. So we'll take a scenario. So say for example, gate is 0. When the gate is 0, the enable and disabling of the timers is done by the TR bit in the TCON register. If the gate is 0, the output of this NOT will be 1, and the output of this OR will be 1 irrespective of the input what we provide. So and we have a 1. If TR bit is asserted, so 1 and 1, you get a 1, and this control will be asserted. So say for example, if the gate is 1, the output of this NOT gate is 0. If the output of this NOT gate is 0, so to get 1 here, so we have to rely on this INTO pin. So if this INTO pin is 1 and you have a 0 here, you have a 1 here. If the run control bit is 1, this can be asserted. So that is what the importance of this gate. If the gate is 0, so the timer switch on and off is controlled by this TR. And if the gate is 1, so the timer enable and disable is also controlled by this INTO pins. Now we'll take an example. First, we have to load the timer count, the count value into the count register, one of the count registers. So say for example, we are initializing the count value to FFFC. Right? So with each clock pulse received, the counting is incremented. So say first initial value is FFFC, and when the first clock is received, it is been incremented to D, and the second clock is received, it is incremented to E. So likewise, when the counter reaches the terminal value, which is the last value, it will roll over to the initial value. Right? So you take for this case. So when the initial count, the TF flag is not set. The TF flag is set when the terminal count is reached, and if it rolls over to the 0 again. So you see here. So this is the oscillator frequency. We are going to divide it. So we are going to get the clock here. So timer run control is used to enable and disable. So if we provide 1, we are enabling it. So whenever a clock pulse is received, the counting is being incremented. So when the second clock pulse, the second increment is going to happen. So when it reaches the terminal value, the count value will be rolled towards initial value. So at that time, the overflow flag will be set, and it is updated in the TCON register. Now we'll see how to program a timer. So to program a timer, we are having these steps to be followed. So first we have to load the TMOD register. So the TMOD register, like I said earlier, it is used to specify the modes, and we have to load the count value onto this TL and TH register, and we have to start the timer with the help of the set bit instruction, and we have to continuously monitor the TL flag with the help of the jump no bit instruction, and we have to stop the timer, and we have to clear the overflow flag, and we have to again go back to the second step to continue the process. Here an example is given. So we have to create a square waveform of 50% duty cycle on the pin 1.5 of the microcontroller. So this microcontroller, in this pin 1.5, we have to continuously produce a square waveform with duty cycle 50%. Right? For that we have to write a program. So first, like I said, we have to load the TMOD register with the value, right? We are going to initialize it to 0, 1. You can see here. So it is initialized to 0, 1. So we are going to use the timer 0. So if it is if the mode M0 and M1 bit is 0, 1, we are in 16-bit timer. So the count value what we take is a 16-bit count value. So next we are taking the count value. So we are initializing the TL0 and the TH0. So initializing the count value. The count value will be SF and F2. So next what we are going to do is we are going to complement P1.5. So say for example P1.5, if it is high now, if we complement it will go to low. So next we are going to go to the delay subroutine. In the delay subroutine only the switch, the timing operation is going to. So first we are we are using the timer 0. So the timer 0, we are going to switch on the timer 0 with the help of the set bit timer, set bit TR0 instruction. Next we are going to continuously monitor this TF0 with the help of this JNB instruction. So initial value is FF2. So each and every clock pulse received, the value gets incremented. So when it reaches the terminal value, it rolls to its initial value. At that time, the TF flag will be set. So when the TF flag is set, so the program control will be coming out of the loop, and the next instruction will be executed. So the next instruction is clearing the TR0, which is nothing but disabling the timing. So after that, we are clearing the TF, the overflow flag, and we are again going back to our main program. So this is how a timer program can be written. So first we have to load the TMOD value, then we have to load the count register, then we have to start the timer, and we have to continuously monitor the overflow flag. If the overflow flag is asserted, so we have to stop the timer and we have to clear that overflow flag, and we have to go back to the previous steps for continuously getting the square wave. Thank you. Thank you.